Hey guys, if you need raw dog food anywhere in the United States, be sure to visit our friends over at texastripe.com.
Yeah, we can do better. We can make a change for real. Yeah, we can do a lot better. We can be facing fears. We know what's up, and we know how to get there. Yeah, we can be stars. We can be the best. Just put us to the test and we'll show the world there's another way. If we just try a little every day, we can make it better. We can do better. We can be setting goals. We understand right down to the soul.
Welcome to NWA Cane Corso's podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
Yep. We back. Ulysses, Vanguard K9 is in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself this evening?
I am in it to win it.
Yes, sir.
Yep. What you been up to?
Oh man, just the same old thing. You know, I'm into dogs, but been focusing more on recording music and stuff like that in my free time. Maybe do a little fishing with my son. My last baby is just graduating from high school this year, and he's finna go to college. He's going to BCU College, which is he's going to Bethune-Cookman.
Okay.
Yeah, so he want to go fishing. So we've been on a marathon fishing every day. We ain't caught nothing.
Oh, really?
We've been fishing every day out there at the Nassau Sound because I'm originally from Amelia Island. And we out of 4 or 5 days, we ain't caught but 2 catfish and one bluefish. And we go out in the marsh, and he like really being in the marsh and digging up the fiddler crabs and going in the water, throwing the net on the crabs. We be catching crabs. That's all we just do.
That's what's up. Sound like fun.
Fish.
Yeah, sound like fun. Hey, bro. Well, we was talking earlier, and I was talking to Doug earlier too, because we always brainstorming about shows. I hate doing shows about the same old topics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Same old dog breeds. But something we wanted to talk about, and Doug was like, call Ulysses on this one, is import versus the domestic dogs, or import versus the domestic dog breeders.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of see how import versus the domestic, you know, everybody got the right to do what they want to do, but you a seasoned veteran at this thing and dogs all your life. I'm newer, but I still see things just through discernment. Does an import dog necessarily mean it's a better dog than an American dog?
Never.
Yeah.
It never does.
Right.
We can look at the pros and the cons when you talking about import dogs. I look at it like this. You know, if I'm going to import a dog, I may import a dog from a line that I've been following for maybe 10 or 15 years that may have some ancestors related to the dog that I want to breed it to, the dogs that I'm going to breed it to, or it may not. And it's like bringing in outside blood, but good genetics to the dog to get something fresh and new, especially if I'm breeding I breed a family of dogs. So I line breed my dogs on a family of dogs. And then if I want to outcross, maybe I import a dog and bring it back in. But that's not really important to me these days because there's a lot of good dogs right here in America.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's not really important to me about an imported dog. Now, yeah, I imported dogs over two decades ago and started my line. But I also use those dogs into the existing dogs that I had already, and created a family of dogs from those strains.
Yes, sir.
So to me, that's only important to certain people. Now you got naive people that's out there that knows nothing about dogs. They're reading books. They're reading these chat boards or whatever, and it sounds good when you don't know nothing about no dogs. When somebody say, "Oh, all this imported," you think your dog better. It was something when I was coming up. You import a dog, that means you bought a dog 1,000,000 miles away, and you can't get your money back if it ain't no good.
Yeah.
And these people sometimes sell you their garbage. Not all the time, but if you don't have no relationship with them and they don't know you, they're going to give you what they want you to have. That's like me and you started, or you and I will be politically correct. For those who are saying I need to be politically correct. You and I will start a business, and we're breeding race horses. We got the secretary himself, the secretariat. Are you and I going to sell secretary to somebody in a foreign country? Hell no.
No.
Why
would I let my best
go? We don't really want them to have a son of secretary if we racing and betting money.
If I'm competing, hell no. Yeah.
So why do they want you to have their great imported dog? They don't. Mm-hmm. The Dutch people are the people that I deal with in the KNPV. And of course, I hate to say it like this, but they run their game, and they want to be in control of the game. Because if you're not in control of the wheel, then you don't make the revenue. Mm-hmm. So it's all about money. It's all about prestigious status. So they're going to give you that. They're going to give you American that. Mm-hmm. No, they're not. They're not.
Right. Yeah. Well, and within a lot of breeds, you hear import lines. And I know how we discussed about the champion lines and saying that it was back there with Abe Lincoln, when it was a champion. But to me, it seems as though breeders are using things as sales pitch.
It is a sales pitch because I said it to you. I didn't say it that way, but I said it to you earlier. I said a person, you get online, you see a flyer, imported father from Czechoslovakia, imported dam from the Netherlands, from Pakistan. Now you think your shit better. You think, well, I hate it. Well, just bleep, bleep. You think your dog better. So you think you got this great dog just because he imported.
Yeah.
But as far as me as a breeder, I import a dog, and if I don't know nothing about him, when I breed him, how I know what kind of puppies he produce?
Right.
I don't know that until I breed him to 2 or 3 sisters, or auntie, and some other bloodlines and other dogs, and then I begin to get a similarity of how he produces.
Watch the dogs grow up.
Yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta keep the puppies and watch them for a while. You gotta train them to know. You gotta keep your son and raise up to be 3, 4 years old, so you know what stages of life they became mature enough to handle stress and pressure, and how they perform under extreme stress and under extreme pressure. That's the reason I love the line that I have, because I already know them. And then when I breed them to outside dogs, I can tell immediately that those puppies are not as drivey as those, and they're not as hard as these. They do possess the smarts for obedience, but they don't show the extreme silver drive or this or that. And then I'd be like, I'm not gonna breed that again. It was okay for certain people, because those dogs certain people deserve certain dogs. Like some people can't handle a hard dog like us, who've been in it for a while and training dogs and looking for a lot more. Officer, somebody who's looking for an elite dog out there on the street, but somebody who's 70 years old and just want their last perfect dog. Now, the dog not as strong as those dogs, headstrong, will do good for them because he's more obedient, because he's softer.
Right.
He's going to be more obedient. A harder dog gonna be hard head. He's not gonna listen without tools, e-collars, and a team of people helping you shape those behaviors. You know, you're gonna get a lot of dogs like that if you use good dogs, and people can't. What I'm saying is every client ain't built for that kind of dog. They all think they need that, but they ain't for that.
No, yeah.
And so you got to be their ears, and you got to be a good broker for them, not just being a breeder. You got to be a good broker because you want to give them what they buck pays and make them happy at the same time,
right? Without
taking their money and that person or the group of people being disappointed. So importing a dog is only for a breeder is to bring in a line of dogs that's good, but not the same as my dogs. So it could be an outcross. So I can come back, and then later on, I can come back into my line. I don't want but one of them. There you go. And I'm back into my line again, you know. And you'll know when you need an outcross, and when you're getting buckle legs, and you're not getting that structure that you're looking for.
Right.
You know, maybe you need an imported line if your dogs ain't good enough. So you want to bring something better. That's for people who hadn't done it for a long time. But it is a sales tactic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But for the most part, I think that there are so many good dogs here in America but we don't stick together as Americans, as people in foreign countries do, that we could just breed dogs right here in America and continue to create great dogs and put them in the right hands and right people. So whenever we need to go back, we can go to this person or that person. But it's a selfish political game.
It is very, very. Yeah, very
political. It's a selfish political game.
Uh-huh.
And I don't like you said this before, asked me this earlier today, but I was like, he already know this, but he asked me that, asked me, did I know people? And I was like, honestly, I don't really know anybody in the dog game. I don't know these kennels and their names. Even if I swipe by on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, I don't try to know other dog breeders and trainers. I might look at a dog and like something and say I like the dog and keep going, or the way it looks, keep going. But I don't try to get to know them because it's like if you stay in your own lane in this game, you'll be here a long time. But as soon as you pair up with people have these different personalities and concepts. And then next thing you know, they want to talk about you and your dogs, backstabbing and doing all kinds of things that you got to defend and take you out of your character.
Right.
So I just try to stay in my lane, do what I do. And when I get a customer or two who believes in me and want to support me by spending money with me, buying a dog, I just try my best to give that person what they're asking for out of the dogs that I have.
Yeah, it's really hard to find really good partners in the dog game, which it would be really nice for people to have other yards they can depend on. You could probably do a lot more, but I call this the screenshot community. They do a lot of screenshot. They do a lot of backbiting, no loyalty, dabble with
there ain't no loyalty in the dog game.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, a lot of people don't know that you're very reserved, and so am I. I don't get a lot of calls. They call people around me if something's going on, but they don't like force unless it's some business being handled, this and that. Hey, or breeders giving me, knowledgeable breeders giving me solid advice. Them type folks get to me, and they don't get all out in the airways and all down in the, it got to be some level of loyalty, but it's far in between with that.
No,
something that I didn't mean to cut you off, but something that also makes my light bulb goes off. And I know this is a tough subject. Some people may get offended about it, but this channel, that's what it's for. Because somebody might need this. Somebody
bringing you the real when you least expect it.
The real deal, Holyfield. But when you see a breeder that always touts the imported lines, who has been breeding for quite a while, let's give them 10 years, and they haven't developed I'm not even going to say a bloodline. I'm just going to say a program. Does that not look a little odd to you?
Well, I know it's different levels in the dog game. So for naive people, they're going to always do good. But for somebody like me, I want to know, like I told you, the test of the time of the family before I put it in my bloodline, because I train my own dogs. My dogs are all my dogs I bred over the years, and I want to know how your dogs respond at 10 months, at 6 months, at 2 months, at 4 months. I want to know at 4 months, can I bring out certain characteristics like I do in my line to make them look good online so I can find them good homes? Can I have high expectations of these puppies? And you won't know that. So I don't really buy from. I haven't bought dogs from anybody in 20 years. So I don't buy dogs from people who import dogs all the time unless he got an imported dog and I look at the pedigree and I happen to know the people in the program who produced the dog, because I've been in dogs so long, I know most of these people. And if I don't know the people, haven't heard of their names in these foreign countries, I've heard of a lot of dogs, and I've watched dogs, and I can go watch a video and come up with my own perspective from watching the dog in the test on the video. If you're a dog trainer, you don't have to listen to Joe Church. You don't have to listen to Ulysses Muff. You can go to the video, and whatever we're doing, if we're doing it wrong or not handling the dog correctly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we're doing something right or wrong in your book, the way you do it, because everybody has methods. Dog training is like karate. You got plenty masters, plenty senseis, but you can look at the video and see how that dog respond, even in an incorrect method, the incorrect teaching of a method, and see how that dog respond and say to yourself, boy, that's a good dog. They doing it wrong. But boy, if I had that dog, I'd make that dog do this. I can see it. I saw it when he did this. Most dogs, I done had a few, they'd have cracked under that kind of pressure. Boy, you seeing that dog? So that's what I'm saying. Your eyes can tell you what you need to see. So, I can watch a dog and look at the pedigrees and know it. But, for these people that don't know anything about dogs, let me tell you something. The direction that guys like you and I and other breeders who've been in the game for a long time are going, that's not really important to them. This is something that's a passion to you and I when we're breeding dogs and trying to breed the good drives, high drives, loyalty, devotion, civil drives, recovery, because dogs, we don't have a lot of dogs that shut down when you put too much pressure on them, rather it's obedience or protection, and then they don't want to work no more. But then we found some dogs that you can do that to and pet him, good boy, and he recovers so fast, and then you can teach him the method. You go and try to teach a dog something and you start using compulsion, he'll shut down. You got to stop training. Some dogs don't recover. So we're breeding certain attributes into our dogs and using the dogs that show good attributes and breed them. That's very important to us for the generations to come, but they don't see that, and that doesn't matter to them, because what they're looking at is sales of multimedia sales of showing the body and a quick 2 second or 10-second video of the dog look like he jumping the gate or he barked and jumped at a guy. Oh, he bad. They say he bad, but me and you actually tap him on the head with a whip and he ain't coming back. But that ain't the part they're showing.
Right.
And there's nothing you can tell a little boy who done made up in his mind, or a young girl who done made up in their mind, that's a badass dog that he got on the video. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing you can tell them. Yeah, so it don't matter nothing to them. It just matters to people like you and I who really saying, if I'm going to raise this dog from Joe, I know that he done, for a couple of years, 10 years, 5 years, or 1 decade, he done been raising these dogs, and he watched these dogs over here train, and he brought that into his line, that if I raise it and put medicine into him, training, the time, all of that matters. In 3 years, I don't want to say I want to go 3 months or whatever. I don't want to say I want to get rid of him or he ain't good enough. I believe that it's good enough. It's going to be good enough when it comes from people like us doing those kind of things that we believe in, certain practices that we believe in breeding. But it's never going to matter to newbies.
Right.
These guys, they ain't gonna believe nothing you say till they buy a dog from you, and then you got to do all this to sell them a dog. But they're not gonna believe any of that until they actually buy a dog from you and go to training a dog and have some bullshit dogs that they're trying to train and see how good your dog is responding versus those dogs.
They gotta feel it, yeah. Basically,
They gotta invest and feel it, and
I don't feel
so
it.
so it would be a long time before they take a chance with you, bro.
Right. So that the import, pushing the import could be a red flag. And most of the customers, our family homes that really want the family dogs, might not be a big issue with them. A lot of times they not even worried about the paperwork. But it'd be the guy that want to be the breeder or upcoming breeder, fall more for the import. And I tell you something else that I think is used in a negative way. You know how like you got the guys, you done raised several children, but you got guys out there that feel like they need a pat on the back. Yeah, I take care of my kids, doing something you supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think health testing, all the embark stuff, is used as a sales ploy too.
Well, that's always been a sell point, Mr. Church. Mr. Church, that's always been a sell point because you know that, but you done been in dogs so long and done raised 10, 12 dogs and you start realizing that, man, I don't want to hear all of that. See, listen, the people who play these political games and got show dogs and dogs with poor health, that's the first thing they learn. My dog has good elbows, and we test his eyes and we test his hips. Man, you can breed two dogs with great hips and breed a whole litter of dogs with bad hips. Especially when you talk about dogs, mastiff dogs with heavy weight. The more weight a dog they have, at older age, he can't carry it around. Like, look, if I'm a skinny guy, I walk around, I walk faster. I can run through the store like y'all hear me breathing heavy on the mic. That's because I'm over my BMI. And of course, now, if we go to walk down the street 2 miles, my ankles hurt a little bit. But when I was skinnier, I wasn't carrying that weight on my heart and on my body, on my bones. So, you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It matters because I'm heavier. So when you buy a master breed like a Cane Corso or African Barble, Rottweiler, any mastiff type breed that's heavy over 80, 90, over 100 pounds or more, all of those dogs, when they get older, they're gonna have some kind of hip dysplasia or something, or they
plasticity in the hips.
Something, or they all gonna die from cancer. All dogs gonna die from cancer.
Right.
That's part of old age.
And then too, like you talking about bigger dogs, thing people gotta realize too, even though all that weight that's on them joints don't mean that the dog's not gonna be functional. Right. The rest of rest of his life.
Oh, yeah, they get called dogs $5,000. Yeah, $5,000 surgery or something. Or some doctor done told him.
Right. Now if he's 2 years old, he going through some shit like that. Oh my God, or 5 or 6. But a lot of these,
Yeah, but you're right. But listen, people. If I want to make some sales and just get you to shut up, and when you start listening to all these people try to talk all high and mighty, well, I've already done it. Yeah, I've done stuff like that on my main one dog I like Kodak. Kodak, the product of dogs. I had 4 or 5 generations of dogs. So he the main dog that I use. But he really a puppy that I kept, you know what I'm saying, from all the dogs. He just a dog I kept from all the dogs that I had in the past, and I did all that stuff on him, embark and all that. And I showed that online before, where he don't have no health issues, no variants of no kind. When they were saying, "Oh, Dutch Shepherd don't supposed to be blue, and he's gonna hair on this, and they hear that they eat plastic, gonna get sick." They talking about some pit bulls, the hair fall off when they purple and all that other stuff. But I showed that. But I've talked also. I did that because I want them to shut up, but I'm also telling them that I've line bred, inbred, and it don't show anything from that. That none of that really matters when you hear people telling you this stuff. Oh, he need his hips done, his elbows done, he need this and this and this. If that's something required to sell you a dog, then I don't really try to do it. But being that I already got it, I got it. But this is a sell pitch, man, to make the dog sound good. Importing those things don't make him no good dog.
Right. You know what I would go off of if it was me? I would go off if I visit someone's yard. I want to see multiple generations of old dogs all the way up to now.
I don't even go to nobody's yard.
I'm talking about if I was.
I can go to a video. Where we at now in this day in this future? Yeah. If I buy a dog from somebody, I don't need. I bought Carlos, the #1 dog in the world at the time. That dog that I started my line, one of my dogs, I bought Carlos Van Voss PH1 Mellow. I sent them that money and I didn't even see the dog.
Really?
I knew who he was because I had dogs off his brother Weebo.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I had a grandson of Weebo.
You know enough about the line.
I knew the line, the dogs. I would watch the dogs. I didn't want to buy the dogs. So what I'm telling you is, if you know the line and you've been watching the line, you don't need to go to nobody's house. All I want is the blood off that dog. I want the blood drop out of that dog. Like you bought semen. All I want is that. They're using my dogs. Mm-hmm. I can figure out if I got 10 of them, I can come up with the best possibility right there. I don't need to go to your house. All I need to see the videos. The videos going to tell me everything. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that these people tell you. Oh, a good breeder, you should be able to go to his house and look at his dogs and see if his kennel's clean. I hope you're clean, but everybody don't have the kennel clean all the time. Dogs constantly using the bathroom, relieving themselves. If you got a feeder and you overfeed them, they're gonna shit them. They're gonna shit a lot. Mm-hmm. You ain't feeding them that much, they won't. If you out there all day in the yard, you ain't got nothing else going on in life, you can clean the kennels out.
Yeah.
But they're gonna tell you need to go to his house, you need to be able to pet the mom and pet the dad. Come on, stop all of that.
But you listen, hold up now. Now if it's a person that's pretty novice, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like objects in mirrors are closer than they appear. Just like when you go to she's online, but when we go to that person's yard, dog small. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. For a movie or somebody, when you think they might want to put their eyes on it.
I mean, if that makes you, I think all of this only matters to the person who's spending their money. I think everything we talked about tonight is only self-satisfaction for the individual who don't know no better trying to spend his money. He need to know you got dogs. You ain't finna steal from him. You need to see the pups or see the pregnant dog and make sure you sending him what he said and that you who you is. That's all that matters to somebody who's scared. To somebody who done got took.
Yeah.
And somebody don't have no relationship with somebody, just meet somebody out of nowhere.
Man, it's crazy how many people get took. I mean, like
that's all the time in dogs.
Man, God, dog.
Yeah, but not people like you and I who ain't finna disappear.
Well, no, but
you online. You got a business. You got NWA Cane Corso right there. They can ride you. Your name is everything. You prestigious man. That matters.
They still be suspicious. I'm like, man, look, I can't get away from you.
Yeah, they stay suspicious.
Yeah.
Even with my videos and all that, they want me to go outside and make the puppy they finna buy come in to sit, run around in a circle, dive on our sleeve, and come back up the steps and sit down and pet everybody, let everybody pet him. But then as soon as they get him, they think he shouldn't even let me pet him no more. So it's a contradiction to all the things they think. It's like the dog world is full of dumbass people. I hate to say it like that. They really is. There's a lot of stupid, dumb people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That don't have no knowledge and you can't feed them right then. Most of the people, you'll sell them a dog, they'll come back 6 months later to a year and then they'll be talking different. Mm-hmm. That's what I've noticed. They talk different, they think different once they got a dog. But for them green people who don't know no better, they're gonna take you to the mill.
Yeah. And then, I know it's a very competitive field. Not to me because I just, I ain't got to crank them. But everybody's gonna try to get an edge on whatever. And I just, thought we should talk about it because
Yeah, all that stuff, all this stuff we talking about tonight, that stuff don't matter, but to nobody, to the person who's spending the money.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm trying to sell dogs, and you trying to sell dogs, and you better be saying all that because there are a group of people in the dog world that wants you to let them come to your house and act like they run it and walk around and test your dogs the way they feel they need to do. They ain't no dog trainers. They ain't got no trained dogs that they train and nothing else. But they think they got to come to your house and test each one of your puppies so that they can get the best one that they think is possible. Like you don't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a dog 2 or 3 decades. You got trained dogs, video after video, and they gonna come in 2 minutes and think they know everything. And that's the dog world.
Ooh. Hey, they can come. They can be in 5 minutes. They can be 23 and they tell you they have 20 years experience. Bro, it is wild.
I already know it's a wild west.
Wow. Yeah.
I'll tell you something else they do. And this don't make no sense to me, but as a dog breeder, as a broker, as a trainer, I already know your knowledge, the way you're talking, but I don't never say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I just let the customer be right. Just, just to make it a good business transaction. But for some reason, does this make sense? So all that I just told you about, they want to do this and test your dogs, right? They just been in dogs, might have had a few dogs growing up, but they don't train dogs. They don't own working dogs. They don't own the line of dogs you own, but you own the line. They don't own the line. You own a good bunch of good dogs. They don't own them, but they need to come to your house and test them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they want a dog for protection, right? But for some reason, they think that the puppy, when they come to your house, should run up to them and love them. So what you telling me is my wife, when you see her, when you first walk in my yard, you should shut your shirt back and she should run up to you and bow down to you and kiss your feet and run in the house and get a meal and come back out with a shiny apple, a cup of water and do everything and disown me and everything because you just came. That's what you think our puppy should do.
He chose me.
That's the word. He chose me.
He chose me.
He don't even know you.
Yeah,
you have no validation. You ain't brought no hot dogs. You ain't brought no buckets of water. You ain't brought no milk from the titty like mama. You ain't went and bought no dog food. You ain't rubbed him across the head, told him good boy for 12 weeks or 8 weeks or 7 weeks or 6 weeks. You ain't did none of this. I have. But when you come to my house, you think he should like you a lot better than me. That's the only way you gonna buy him, huh? That's dumb. They be some dumb people, man. I be like, I just let them think what they want to think. They say that because they done heard somebody say that. They believe that. Listen, if you got a pack of strong-willed, strong-minded puppies, most of the time, they just playing. They so confident in their own surroundings, and they just run around. They happen to see you as a little target, come over there, might grab your pants. You think they choosing you. They just having fun.
If you
get some puppies that ain't been well-rounded or more aggressive, they got more aloofness in them. Mm-hmm. The kind that's gonna be more one-owner dogs, they aggressive. They're not finna trust you in no 2 minutes. They're not even finna come to you. They might come to me because they know me. You might say, "Oh, they're not good. They've been abused," but no. Listen. Aloofness is something shepherds have, where they're aloof. And that means more untrusting of people and predators, or being just around the mama and you and less interaction with individuals and just you. Them kind of dogs can grow up to be killers, but you think that the dog is terrified. Now, wrong training, it can go in a different way if you put pressure on those dogs and do things without developing right, carry him in your arms. You can make him run, and when a dog chooses to run, he always going to run. You know what I'm saying? You could do the wrong thing and make a dog no good, but you could also take that same dog, carry him in your arms and let him see people and things, and nobody really do stuff, and a little pet him across the bed. Somebody hold him and walk up to him and pet him on the back while you holding him and stuff like that, and he'd be like, okay, all right, I can deal with him. But, and he grow up, he'll be a bad son of a gun because he see people, know people, now he done got the confidence, and now he wide open. He'll be a killer. But if you let people run him off because he's spooked, then you're going to make him always show that behavior because it worked for him when he tried to run away the first time and got behind your leg and did that too much. So it's all about imprinting the mind properly and knowing the genetics and knowing the breed. And certain dogs and certain genetics produce certain things. They mimic themselves. When you see a dog like yourself and myself, we breeding dogs to act like the mom and dad. So we genetic coding, and we say, okay, these puppies should be half of the dad, half of the mom. And what we breed is what I think I heard you say. I don't know if the correct word is OCD or obsessive behavior or something, and where he can't stop chasing the ball.
Yeah.
So we take a little puppy and we open it up, rolling the ball. We put the food in the ball and roll it out there. And by the time they come, he love that game. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of behaviors are bred into the dog that can't stop. They love to do that, or they love to bite. We breeding this stuff into them dogs, and so it's just so much I could tell you when it comes to breeding dogs, and you just won't know that off an imported dog.
Yeah, yes, lot you.
Not off the bat. And two imported dogs you just bred together and you breed them together. How you know what them puppies gonna be? I don't like selling wine without tasting it myself.
Right. And I'm not in no way means trying to knock anybody who don't have a lot of time in, because I don't have a ton of time in, but my strength comes from guys who got a lot of time in. I can call guys like you all day long and get on the right track. And I think we need to embrace the student mindset a lot more than what we do. But being that we the not just a new generation, but the new culture is so good with camera work, Instagram. It's like
I'm a dying breed.
Right.
I don't even think I feel like I don't even exist anymore because people are not actually training dogs like that. You got some people don't care about their dog being trained. They just care about the color and the body build and what's popular, the trend. And basically all they do is make a video of dog walking around and might go over there and eat a big old lamb chop and watch his jaws, and he's a killer. That's a killer now. Until somebody actually put a gun in your face and you don't do nothing. So, the new world is looking at colors. They're looking at colors and body structure. They're not looking at somebody raising a dog for 2 years, training it every day, and you get to see the dog be developed. Watch them jump a gate, jump a fence, go up under something, 3 tackers come on, biting in the water, biting off on land, going up ladders, coming down ladders, finding drugs, finding money, finding narcotics. They don't care about that. That's boring. That's why I don't really make videos like that no more. Dude told me a long time ago, hey man, if I didn't know you, I wouldn't watch your videos. I only like shorts. My attention span ain't that long.
Yeah, that's true.
I done had 4 people tell me that's in dogs. You're boring. Your videos are boring. You know what my videos aren't boring for? Somebody who really want to train a dog.
Yeah. That's why my growth has been slow, but it's been great. It's been great because the audience is quality people. Quality people, man. I don't have that TikTok audience, the short audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have that, man.
ADD, ADHD audience.
Right. Yeah. It is nice. I got thinking people that watch this channel that want to, meet guys like you and learn from guys like you, maybe even disagree with guys like you.
Yeah.
But everybody gonna get something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you watch it. But yeah, man.
Hey, listen, the new generation, I got hands down for. I'm like Prince. It's y'all world, I appreciate, my time I had in the dog game. But you remember, man, a good dog is on the way you find him. And when you start needing a dog to protect you, your property, and the things that are most valuable to you, you really need to have a dog that comes from the genetics that's been tried and true through the test of time. And that's when it's going to be really important to you when somebody sticks a gun in your mouth or takes something you got. I bought some Frenchies and all these other dogs, but them dogs don't do nothing. You spend more time trying to hide them in the house and not let nobody know you got them, so they kick your door in and take them.
Yeah.
They can't do nothing.
Yeah, they ain't got
They ain't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I got a whole bunch of Frenchies right now. I wish somebody come by. I give them
Right.
all away.
Let me ask you something. Because when you're dealing with working breeds, I noticed you have a divide as far as like what of my boy Terry Cornish, he calls them purists, the working side, the show side, and then I'm kind of like in the middle, the total dog. What's your thoughts on that, man? If a dogo or something go hunts boar, shouldn't it be able to be in a family setting? You know, what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, you said two different things. One, you said the show side and the working side.
Yeah, well, when I say show side, I mean a beautiful dog.
Yeah,
that can work.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I knew what you were saying about.
Okay.
Normally, when I hear that, the first thing come to mind is people in German Shepherds, and I hear, oh, we're breeding working. This is a working line, the West German show line, and this is a German working line, and we bred them together, and da da da. And I'm looking at so watch this. I'm gonna go through this analysis. Watch this. So we got a thoroughbred. We got a horse named Secretariat. That's a new horse that just finally did it in 30 years recently. Mm-hmm. Well, all the horses that ran in the Derby were strains of Secretariat anyway, but I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. So we got Secretariat or full-blooded game-bred pit bull. Now I don't get in, but these guys should know what I'm talking about. You gonna take that game dog and put a show dog in and then go bet on him? Yeah. You just lessen your chance of having a true game dog. You just lessen your chance of having the fastest horse in the world. You just bred your horse to a mule,
right?
Because he or you bred him to this line to get a look. Me, I used to like pretty dogs. When I say like pretty dogs, I like the German Shepherds. So I'm a German Shepherd man, but I can't breed and raise German Shepherds because they don't have the ability at the time frame that I need it to be. Like with me, I like to get online and make little puppies do stuff that grown dogs don't do at 3 months old, 2 months old. I'm not gonna get that out of the show dogs. Now the show dog definitely look good and they win. People winning breeding show dogs winning because they want the dog to look pretty. Nobody buys a dog that's not ugly, but a person like myself who is a true working fanatic, I don't really care about what my dogs look like. I ain't worried about what color it is. I don't care nothing about that. What I care about is if I'm feeding this dog every day, playing with him, walking in the woods, when I come out of the woods, if I'm trying to make him find that ball or find that money, I need this damn puppy to act or have this obsessive behavior that he can't stop searching, that he won't come back to me because he won't give up to keep looking. Kevin, ugly. To me, that's beautiful. God damn, that's the prettiest show dog I ever saw in my life. That is the show. The ability is the show. But I know that it don't sell dogs because if you watch some of my dogs, I breed the same old dog. People looking for something different all the time. They want to see the browns and the Malinois colors and all that. So that show, I don't have that. And I lose money because I don't have that. But am I to sacrifice my belief in having a true fanatic working dog to appease the clients? I can't do that because I want to keep breeding dogs. And when I'm 80, I want to have the same kind of dogs. And people can come to me when they really want one of them working dogs, like a police officer who life on the line, a military guy, want a dog that's going to work. I want it to be able to be tried and true. And I want that puppy to show that at a very young age. But when I start putting show dogs in my line and stuff like that, now the dog he's not as high driven as the other dogs I've had in the past. Or if I put a little pressure on him at 5 months old to see if he got a little silver drive in him, somebody like do something to him to test, he ain't gonna fire off. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or I might lose the aloofness. The aloofness is the untrustworthy in a dog, and that's what make them bark too. So I can breed a little bit of that from this line in there, just a little bit of it, so I can still sell them. Won't be too aloof, but aloofness, and he show that aggression, and they go, "Oh, I like that." So I'm focusing on those kind of behaviors instead of the look. So, okay, then, but the sell dogs and stuff like that, and I see that's just the way the world going. Damn what I think. People like show dog with a little bit of working dog, but I'm telling you what's happening is your dog not going to be as good as the dogs in the past. You saw that with true fanatic workers.
Mm-hmm.
Your dog not going to be as good as this guy down here you see every day on the training field teaching his dog to bite and 3 attackers and taking it to these events, like Atlanta, what that is, Battle of the Dogs or something in Atlanta they used to have.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but them boys, they real.
But that ain't no work. There ain't no show dog in that now because they gonna run your dog off.
Down there. Yeah,
they gonna run your dog off. Now if you got that show stuff, then he ain't gonna look good.
Yeah,
and I've been embarrassed
working down there. Boys in Missouri working.
Yeah,
off at Canine, all them dudes. Boy, yeah,
personal protection sport, PPD, personal PPS, PSA, PSA, personal. What is Protection Sports Association and people like that. You ain't gonna never get them guys in the KNPV, the Royal Dutch Police, to do that. They don't care nothing about that.
Right.
Now
I got a real off the wall question for you.
Wait a minute. What was the other part of your question? You said after you asked about the show.
Said, well, I was just wanted to know your thoughts on, and you told me that you more toward the working side, but I was asking, what about the totality of a dog? What does a family? I put it like this. I said, you got a dogo. He works. He goes hunt hogs. And he comes home to his family, chills around kids. Is that what we want in our dog breed?
I gotta also say this. Now, like most people who got sports dogs, that's not a family dog. He stay in the cage because they don't want him to develop certain habits that keep him from making good points, because sports events are based upon points, perfection. And they don't want to take, and some people have made a dog a family dog and still do good in the sports and still do this. But you got to raise that dog from a puppy and good imprinting and know exactly what you're doing. However, most high-driven police dogs from the KNPV line and stuff like that, I'm not saying they don't make good pets, but they're the greatest fucking dog in the world. But they have to be in a kennel somewhere so they don't be destructive and do things, and they're really controlled by one person. Although they'll listen to other family members, but they really could be a danger to somebody or something.
Yeah.
And they can knock your sofa over, your TV. They can bark at a guy and they're gonna go through the window. If you got a cheap old historical house with thin windows, you in trouble. It's just certain things those dogs can't really do.
Yeah, that's a different.
It's a different beast.
Dog there. That ain't for everybody.
Yeah, but you can take these same dogs and raise them as puppies, but still you got to have a kennel in the house to lock them in when people come around, or certain things when you can't attend that dog emotionally and physically.
You've been working with these. You leading right into my next question. So you did a lot of police dog work. You don't work with a lot of dangerous dogs. So this is my off the wall question for you tonight before I let you go, brother. Because I know how your mind think too. What has been, you can name maybe 1 to 3 dogs, or maybe your number one dog that's been the most notorious dog in history toward humanity, used against humanity.
What's the most notorious dog that somebody used against humans?
Yeah.
Well, the shepherd breeds. We know the Romans used the mastiffs.
Yeah.
In Africa, they had some Great Danes, and they did that and used against people. One time, people don't know, the Dutch started, the first police dog for the Dutch was poodles. And they were some badass dogs. People don't even know that.
Yeah.
Then later on, they used some masters and pit bulls and stuff against people. Then you got the American game bred dog, which is a totally different dog from so many bull breeds out there, but they were focused on, with John P. Kobe, them focused on uh, bull baiting and fighting other animals, and they did away with dogs that possess the trait to bite a man and fight back. But nowadays, and since me being a kid, you always hear German Shepherd, German Shepherd, German Shepherds. Became a very popular dog after the war. And in the decline of that, you got Belgian Malinois now, and Dutch Shepherds and variants of the three crosses of German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, and Dutch Shepherds. And the Dutch definitely put a little pit bull in some of those dogs. So it's in there. So those are the dogs that they used a lot. You know, this mastiff breeds and shepherd breeds are the two breeds of dogs that has been used over and over in time. And so you can't go and say one specific breed, because breeds are made from mixes and everybody got different variants of mixes. So it's the mastiff dog and the herding dog is the two dogs that's been used. And especially for my people, you know, coming up in the civil rights movement in the 60s, late 50s, 60s, they were putting German Shepherds on us. And in the hood today, they putting Belgian Malinois on us today. Go online, all you see the police singing the Belgian Malinois because German Shepherd a little too slow, shedding all the time. It ain't that in the gene pool. You don't get a lot of good ones, and they're a little slow, and you get more wear and tear off the agileness of the Belgian Shepherd side because they run, jump, go through things, climb ladders. They a little bit more sleeker, slim, and they don't run when walk with the gait, and they don't have the hip problems that the German Shepherds possess at a very young age, around 6 to 8 years old. And the Belgian Malinois Dutch Shepherd worked till about 13, 14 years old until the day they die, and you won't know it. So that's pretty much what they're using now.
Right.
You know, but like I said, at the beginning of the time, the Molester dog, if I'm saying that right, Molester,
yeah.
Well, that was really a mastiff.
Yeah.
The Romans came with what you say, the Cane Corso or the mastiff dog or the Bang dog, whatever they deprive from, they come from them dogs.
Yeah, the Mastinos,
yeah. That's what all them dogs is just variants, little breakdown, softer side of them dogs. All them dogs, you start talking about African Borbos and Pharaoh Majeros and all that, man, they all come from the same damn type dogs, mastiff dogs.
Yeah.
They just bred it that way, mixed it with these other stuff and kept line breeding.
Right. So that's another good question. What do you think? You probably don't know this, but like today is a really big band dog movement. I mean, it's huge.
Movement on what? Getting rid of them or starting them up?
Breeding them, making these dogs, right?
Oh, that's been around.
Oh, that's been around?
Them dogs been around. I hear people be talking about a bully herder. Man, come on. What you think the KNPV dogs is? They bring game bred pit bulls or some type of pit bull mixed with Belgian Malinois and German Shepherd. They use what work. You know, not by looks. Them dogs is already in our dogs. They already that. They just trying to popularize and put a word on it to make it sell.
Oh, yeah. So the success rate of those crosses, have they been really? Are they pretty successful most time, or does it take a couple generations to get what you want?
That's remember I said before. That's an individual thing because like me and you and I can go get a pit bull and breed it to a Malinois or a Dutch Shepherd. You really won't see the pit bull in him at all. But you can tell, you like some of them, you be like, oh, okay, the ears gonna stand up and all. And some of them be crazy as hell. Yeah. Might even fight a dog or two and fight people. Because the shepherd side coming out and the pit bull to stay there, but he'll curd off to put against another pit bull in a fight. Some people even done it, mixed bull terriers in it and all that other stuff, and talking about they a better dog, and you know, but if you're trying to get a show dog, goes back to what you said earlier, show dog look. Now you're gonna have to go a couple of generations to take the bow out and the funny little look and less hair on the tail and the sleek look. You know, the hair gonna be sleek and closer like the pit bull, like how my dogs look. He ain't gonna have that more hair, bushy hair like the shepherd. So you'll see it. That line in the what the Malinois line, the Django, all that stuff
Django.
comes from pit bulls, which is Duco. That's a pit bull line.
Right.
But they think they Malinois, but that's what that is. You can see it. To
Mhm.
me, they act like a pit bull. They real loving to their family. They're not as they a little slow. They ain't as hard as you think they is. I don't like them.
Mhm.
I didn't like them. I didn't like them. The true shepherd dog, like the Malinois and Dutch shepherds, they real assholish. You ain't gonna have them lay and cuddle up under you. They moving too much.
Yeah.
I don't want him in the house. He tearing up my shit, knocking over the sofa. If you're a big one to tail long and knock my lamp over,
Yeah.
he went there. You can't get him to sit down in the kitchen, pushing the wife down, jump on the table. Got he in your bread when you come. He might be trained, but if you give him too much freedom, he gonna play games with whatever he want to do.
Yeah, man. I actually forgot about that, man, because none of my dogs got tails. Then we had a dog over here the other day. We was keeping for somebody, and this dog had a tail, hit me in the nuts. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yes, sir. Kodak don't look big. My dog Kodak, he way bigger than all the dogs I had in the past years. The Neros, the Carlos, the Quartros. Oh, he way bigger than them. He don't look like it, but he's so big. He don't really fit well in my lifestyle riding in the car, in the Jeep. He really too big. I put him in the back, tell him stay down. He ain't fit for that because he's so big. The tail so strong, he hit me like you said, nothing. And 4 seconds later, the reaction come, I'm bent over.
Yeah.
I never got that out of Neros and Quartro and all them. They really were smaller dogs. They looked big, but they were really smaller dogs, more agile. It seemed like they sat in the seat and they was in that one seat, and that's what they feel. My big dog, now he take the whole 2 seats, the whole back, and he still ain't in there.
Right.
He turn around, his tail swapping me in the face while he barking at you from the back seat. Tail hit me across the head and hurt. So it's a difference. Right. But they got a little pit bull in them. Mm-hmm. So the tail ain't as bushy.
Right.
As it was. But the more I keep breeding back into the Dutch shepherd side, you get more hair.
Right. Well, bro, I appreciate you coming out. This actually be my first interview in about a few weeks.
Oh man, I feel honored.
Yeah, man. Hey, a few weeks. I had to take a break. And speaking of break, I know how me and you think. Sometimes we got very creative minds. Love music. Played instruments coming up, all that good stuff. Played in the church. Did a couple rap albums, doing them beats and things like that. Just love music. Played in a band, coming up in school, and so now you kind of like you on your music tip right now.
Yeah.
How's that been? Kind of recharging from social media, doing something else, tapping into something else.
I made a whole new. I got another YouTube channel. It was an old dog channel that I used to have that was just as popular as my other one. Mm-hmm. They both was Vanguard Canine. So some people might be looking at videos from that channel, and I realized they're 2 different channels. I just I was really wiped away a lot of stuff from that channel and made that my music channel. Although I drop it on the dog channel, I try not to because I don't want people like, oh, he's doing music, he's not thinking about the dogs. You lose your clientele. It's hard to get them back. So I pretty much, to me, I feel like my break was a mental break because I lost my mother, my sister, my favorite cousins, all my aunts and uncles. There ain't too many people living in my family no more, and I didn't have that many anyway. So it's just me. So I kind of feel like my break was a mental break, and I've lost my following. I think I've lost my following pretty much, and then the big change of the world after COVID-19. It was popular for a minute, and then all of these new guys that were home and entertainers found YouTube as a way to talk to people instead of going out, and they knocked me out of the way because it was more interesting to hear about Puffy knocking off Aaliyah or Jay-Z doing this and the new new age dog guys came along, and
Yeah.
now they just bullying and
They bully, they try to bully. Somebody had to explain that to me, because I was kind of like in awe how, we men, and men act accordingly. Men, you could be whoever you are, but you still a man. We don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna just like kiss your ass. Oh yeah, so we just not like that. So somebody explained something to me, and what you just said, and they said, bro, like they say COVID breeders. They said, man, it's a lot of COVID channels now that got power like a mug.
Yeah, they do. They got 400,000 views, followers, and millions of views. They drop a video, they got 10K, 14K.
Right.
I ain't got that out of a video.
No.
I had for 30 years.
Right.
So and they ain't doing no training. They ain't doing no dog training, no information, insightfulness. They repeat what they done heard us say or somebody else say, and they just walking the dog on the channel. I seen a guy take his German Shepherds and just walk in the woods every day with a stick, a phone, the video phone, and they eating that up.
Yeah.
So I kind of, my mental breakdown, I said I don't see no reason for me to be making dog videos no more.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped.
The landscape
is hard.
Yeah, I know you had to check in on these YouTube streets. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, for real, because it was kind of shocking to me. I was like, what? But somebody explained it to me and said, yeah, man, like a lot of channels came up during COVID. Yeah,
and TikTok. And you got Instagram. So you got 3 different channels. So here I am with Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook and YouTube. And then each one of them, I got 3 to 4 channels on Facebook for different reasons. Facebook. So I'm really working. People don't know. I'm trying to determine throughout the day what's most for me to do. The dogs today, or the music channel, or the security channel, or my personal life channel. And so I try to drop in between all of them, but they all different styles of what they want. TikTok, they don't want to see, they want you and the dog do a trick and dance, and it's queer quick and put something over it. Instagram a little different. YouTube
it's shocking, because like I remember one time I had met this dude. He got a really big presence on online, got a huge presence. And when the first thing he said to me, he said, boy, people hate you. I said, for what? Because but in my mind, in my street mind, I'm like, well, shit, they evidently ain't got no problem, because they'll tell you before they'll tell me. They felt safe telling you that before they tell me. But what it was is, when you bring minds like you, people with experience, come sharing their experience with dogs, and it's kind of real world, it's kind of combative to the real salesy type content, and so you don't know, we down here, and they looking down here like, what y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? We running, like, no, you don't. Yeah, no, you don't. But Ulysses, man, I appreciated you coming out. We just had a little audio problem, so you talking through my phone. But hey, man, I know everybody might have a different goals and things like that, but I do want to say it's some great dogs over here in America, and it's some great breeders. What's your thoughts, bro, as we close this out?
That is the truth for sure. The dogs are here, and we don't have no reason to be buying dogs from overseas. We just need to come together.
That's what's up. All right, brother, Ulysses, man, we'll holler at you, man. Y'all be sure to go over there to YouTube and check out Vanguard K9, the big OG.